But sometimes to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be. Let's learn the code behind the making of this game. We must become more than we were programmed to be.
To build this game, I'm using Ursina, which is a Python-based engine that handles the heavy lifting of a 3D rendering, so I can focus on the logic. And I also imported random, which is my go-to tool for procedural generation. It's how we keep the world feel fresh by randomizing the environment. And from the Usina, I'm using the directory prefab, which is going to import the first person controller from it. And right after we are initializing our app to Usina. Now, after this, in the window configuration, we are using window.title, and the title of our game is actually Adventure Twist 3D. And we had made the window to be borderless, and to be to not have the access to have full screen. For instance, if you see that this is the game, actually I have to this is our game, and you can see that it does not have any specified border. Same goes, it does not have any we don't have any option to actually make it full screen. And from the code you can actually see that we have enabled to window border to be borderless as false, and full screen to be false as well. And after the button visibility, and the enable button visibility is true, that make us actually, if we want to get out of this game, I can actually just click on this exit button, and the game will going to be offload. Then the button text position and scale is mentioned as this. Then the most important, the world environment and lighting of our game. That's, as you can see this in this whole game, I'm showing you the this whole area is basically giving the vibe of a sky, and this is the bridge. And you can see that each and every of what is it visible, and the model are not having shadow, making it pitch black and having the best format. This happened because I'm using window configuration in which I have set sunlight to be direct, which is the primary source of light in our game. So that's why we are actually seeing the colors and all thing in this game. After this, you can say the sun is directed in this direction, and we are using ambient light. So any of the model, if have a shadow, it cannot be a pitch black one, because we are using ambient light, which is making the uh, back of any model to be kind of visible. So it is giving the touch of our system to actually not have a pitch black or a colorless background for 3D models. And all of our game, right after it we have ground, in which I have placed the setting as the whole ground of my game is giving is actually having the same color as the sky. And these are this thing actually might look like some mountains, and this is the sky. Same goes from the down area, and this is the path, and those two are the models which I'm using in my games. And right after the within the ground, because it is the entity of our world, I'm using model as cube, and having this particular scale and the position slightly below the baseline of the game. and having the texture as and color, and also using the collider as box. You can actually see this. This is the this is the path which is defined in the for loop, this one. And we are using X position to make the kite. I mean, this is making each of the block, as you can see in the screen, slightly above above each other, so it does not give or hide any of the block. And the path is getting narrowed as we move away from the camera. It is actually giving us the design of a game like an original real world path, as it is giving an effect of being getting narrowed as away moving away from the camera. After this, we are having a for loop, which is a basically a way for me to actually, if I want to add 50 blocks of a path, I can just change this 6 to 50, and the whole of my path will be aligned in this manner. This line is actually making the path get thinner as we move forward from the screen. In this screen, you can actually see this. Right after this, we are having the model as cube. The light color is gray, the texture is white cube, and the scale is 0.2 for y and 2 for z. Same goes that scale x is the x area. Basically, it will get narrowed as we move away from the main camera. And we are using collider as a box. After this, we have fixed what objects such as forest and the cave. As you can see in the screen, this is representing a forest. It is a 3D model of a tree, and this is a 3D model of a cave. This is the path, because I say as we move toward these two model, the path get narrowed if we view them from a distance. And these two models are placed in a sense like they are having green texture as a color, and they are the 3D models having .obj file, from which these models are important in having the particular shape as you can see on the screens. After this, after initializing the forest entities, they are having the scale of 3.5 and 3, which is basically how much bigger they are as compared of the original size. And they are having the position as a 4 and -4. As you can see, this is having -4 position, and this is having 4 1. Like like in a straight path, they are having the right and left position. Accordingly, as a matter of fact, they are actually are having both of axis 0 is for y-axis, and z plus 2 is actually specifying that these both model should be placed at the end of the path, so it is making the game look realistic. Now then we are now after this fixed word object, we are having the player initialization, in which we have set the player to have the control of its first person, which we imported from the Ursina. And the position of the player is like 0 from the x-axis, 0 from the y-axis, but the z-axis height is slightly -3 below the 0 line. And we have removed the cursor or to be false. And the camera is the main parent, and the uh, camera.ui is like the sub container. The camera.ui is allowing our game to have the camera aligned in a manner to have a 2D view rather than a 3D one, which is having a scale of this one. And the color of the player, which you can see on the screen, is red. If I hover on any of the object, we can see the change of color. This thing is basically our player. Let me explain you what come next. After the custom grows here, we are having we are moving to user pop-up system, in which we have assigned the pop-up panel to be an entity, and which is also following the camera.ui, which is having a two-dimension position in our game, making the camera to be fixed at 2D rather than a third dimension, so it cannot change its direction according to the user. Right after, we are not managing any text in the title, and this in the pop-up we increase the font size so it's actually visible to all of us, and the text will be text body, and all of the thing will be changed accordingly to the, of which according to the model we have selected. Pop text and the body will be adjusted according to the model the random function has selected. After it, we have using the 3D inspection preview frame, in which the entity actually give you the concept. This is the 3D entity, and it is rotating in 180 degree. As also, this was the pop-up main screen. This is the title and this is the body, and we have increased the font size so it is kindly visible for all of us to see this. And the model are placed in the line of view, which is this line. This is our line of view, and the model is placed in minus zero point 0.4 towards the z axis, like it is kind of not having, it is not emerging from the screen, it's like uh, moving away from the camera, so the whole model is easily visible for any all of us. And this object is placed as it is having 1 degree, it is having one position from the x-axis and minus zero point 0.4 position from the line of view, which is y-axis, and 2.5 unit away from z-axis. This is the instruction, which you can see. Uh, these these are our instructions. After the instruction, we have assigned the engine core update. Update function is basically making our whole game and the model giving a smooth effect, which is making this game having a professional workflow or sequence, so the game does not be having showing any error while moving, or showing any model popping up the text of the model, or following the pre-made frame or template that allow many of the model to be visible as they are called. In the update function, if pop-up 3D preview is enabled and the pop-up 3D model is enabled, we are using this thing, the time.dat, which allow our model to smoothly run over any of the system and does not get lag or such thing. After this, we have changed the gross color based on what we are looking at, like the hover effect, which you can see on the screen. The color of the red wall is changed whenever it is hover over object, but as you can see, if I go away from the edges of the object, it color will come back to the red, because we are using the collider as is equal to mesh, so it is actually seeing the whole object, 3D object parameter, and checking if this thing is coming within the lines of the 3D model. If yes, then the color will be changed accordingly, as you can see in your screen. After this, we have 3D pop-up 3D dot enable, which is using lerp function, which is basically allowing us to smoothly run the model and preview them accordingly in any of system. After the update function, we are showing show screen function, in which this is kind of a template that allow the random model to select our model and show all of the thing which it has. For instance, if as you can see, if the random model select the line, it will going to show this obj file, this one, and with the scale of this, and these things will be imported by show screen function, and the custom rotation of 180 is actually mentioned here, and the title, the text and the texture is assigned according to what the model is selected by the random Python pre-built model. After defining the source string model, we are using the close string function, which allow the user to close the game if by using the text key if it is not in the pop-up, and if it is in the pop-up screen, the user can use escape key to actually get out of the game. As you can actually see, this happened because we are using the define input key function, and in the if section of the this function we are using the key escape for the pop-up and the key tab for if the user is not within the pop-up environment, and the custom the browser if not enabled, then this thing will actually gonna work. And if any of the user, as you can see in the screen, or if any of the user click an object, this pop-up will show. This is this pop-up will show, and this is specified in this section for both the cave and the forest by this specified thing. The model file is the file which you can see, and for the gold which you can see in the cave, we are using something like if we click on this cave, if the gold treasure will be shown. If the system were not able to actually represent or give the original texture of this model, it can just give the whole model the gold texture, which is basically good because if you have not specified the, the model to have a yellowish or gold color, the whole model will have a white color, which will not be a good sign. And this was the end of our game project. I hope you actually understand the logic and all of the thing. In the end, I would like to say that this project is this is basically the way to achieve this smooth translation and try to build some user interface that is aligning with professionalism and actually allowing the model and all of our system to run as smoothly as possible and efficiently and effectively deploying what the user should see in this specific situation. That's for today. Thanks for watching my tutorial.